to the Cyber Future Summit Day 2. Thank you for joining us this morning, and those that are joining us online. Uh, we had a very packed agenda yesterday, and it's going to be, if that was not enough, today is going to be back-to-back. A number of topics that we wanted to discuss amongst the folks that are gathered here and those that are joining us online. Uh, in the next few hours, you're going to hear a number of really excellent speakers and delegates and dignitaries who have tremendously contributed to the future of cyber and continue to do so, motivate others to take up the cause of cybersecurity and support the community and support the industry. Uh, in the last, you know, couple of months, we have been looking at how do we address this challenge in the new normal. I would say, a lot of us had kind of got together last night and even here through the day yesterday as to get people back again and get them together. So here we are on our attempt to do so. The way we are going to run today's sessions are going to be a combination of discussions, dialogues, and panels. We have a series of conversations on the DEI aspect, expand that to the capacity building aspect and how that aids together. How can we change or be more kind of creative about our hiring processes to address this need? How can we expand the tools in our toolbox to ensure that we have not only the technology and innovation that is have been helping us in so many great ways, but also the talent. How can we get innovative about talent engagement? We are also going to go and talk about the several aspects of integrating the talent back into the overall industry. If you think about the public-private partnerships that are required there, it's extremely essential that we work together towards that cause. Well, in fact, after this, we're going to kick off with a very important topic. And last year we had several global cyber hours. This year we have spread that across topics. So the next session is going to be about cyber peace. We are going to have Cyber Peace Foundation from India, Cyber Peace Institute from Europe, and of course, our Cyber Future Foundation partners joining us to take us through that topic. And as we progress, we're going to also have Governor Deal joining us to talk about how this great venue and this whole institution came about, the story of Georgia Cyber Center. I think that's extremely essential. This is an example of when you have an intent to make it happen, and how we can go about it. Well, without further ado, I'd like to welcome my two great esteemed colleagues, Tom Patterson and Michael Schafer, to join me here on the stage and talk a little bit about this great institution that's coming up to support the cyber ecosystem. And we had a little bit of chat before this, and also Michael was gracious enough to kind of take us on a tour and show what is already there, what's coming up. And I really have to tell those that are joining us, you're missing something. Should have been here, a little bit teaser, but you need to be here coming along. And just an amazing resource and facility for education, for innovation, and for organizations to protect their cyber assets, and that can be done from Augusta, Georgia, right? So, well, all right, gentlemen.
It's being done in Augusta, Georgia.
It is gorgeous. It's been great.
It's no longer a future.
Yeah,
that is very true. Well, I'll start by just saying welcome to Augusta, Georgia. For those of you virtually, or those of y'all in attendance, and we're the home of James Brown. Yeah. Home of a small golf tournament, the Masters, but also the home of Augusta University, and certainly the home of the Georgia Cyber Center.
Yeah.
And so we want to just welcome y'all here. You'll actually get to hear a little later from the gentleman that's responsible for this. So you can ask him all the tough questions, Governor Deal. But I will say, the campus this sits on along the beautiful Savannah River that's right here with South Carolina, who partners with us on many things regionally. Dr. Keel, as the president of the university, had a dream of having a digital campus. And at the same time, Governor Deal was approached and understood that with Fort Gordon, which is now also the home of Army Cyber coming, that training and innovation was two items that was constantly mentioned as they were approaching and making the move to Augusta, Georgia. And Governor Deal, doing what he did best, is solve problems. And I know that's what this conference is about, is you talk through and how do we get after solving challenges. And, it wasn't just the Georgia Cyber Center. The state of Georgia, I guess this is the 8th straight year as the #1 state to do business. But I'll give you an example. Governor Deal, when we were going to deepen the port of Savannah, the challenge was to wait for the federal government to provide the money. Well, he said, well, no, we're going to provide the money. We're going to go ahead and we're going to solve that challenge. And so when the challenge came about of what do we do, the Army Cyber and our partners at DOD and NSA said, we have challenges we need help with. And so the last story I'll tell is this amazing facility you're in was built with cash, right? How do you solve it? He says, well, we're going to beat them here. We're going to be prepared when they actually move the flag here. And instead of waiting to go out and sell bonds, well, we're going to build it in cash. And so 387 days later, your facility's here. And with that, I'm, let Tom say some words, but truly, it's a blessing from the state of Georgia. And what y'all are doing here over the next couple of days is what was envisioned. How do we help bring people together to solve some of the challenges that are before us? So welcome.
And you're exactly right, Michael, but that cash came with, I remember, a deadline. You get the cash as long as that first shovel goes into the dirt really fast. I mean, so much faster than the normal way to build a building or change a downtown and a waterfront. You needed to get everybody on board to get that first shovel in the dirt. And you did. And the community did. And the money came. And I got to tell you, having been, living through the formative stages when we were talking about this is where we're going to be in Augusta Cyber. And now coming back, I haven't been back for 2 years, through the pandemic. Coming back and seeing all the progress, talking to students this morning over coffee that just take this for granted. Well, of course, Augusta Tech is here and has programs taught by Fort Gordon, retirees. And of course, this facility is available to the different causes around the country. The progress is just amazing. And I will tell everybody here, this is a success story that should be studied around the country and in fact around the world. Augusta, Georgia, 6 years ago, this was a dream in a few people's eyes, and some insightful folks like Governor Deal, sort of a real education guy. He cares deeply about the education of the people here, bringing in and changing, Georgia Regents University into Augusta University and making that a top cyber program in America, all because there's that vision. And I just want to point out that, other cities have tried this and they've had a lot of good things going for them. They've had richer companies that were spawning off, millionaire after millionaire of people as the company grew. We don't have that here in Augusta. It took everybody, every institution, the people that were part of cyber, the people that weren't part of cyber, to all come together around this goal of not only becoming a cyber-centric town and a region, but really making it positive for everybody. It wasn't just an enclave of people, the cyber people get everything. This has helped everybody, the stores that now and the services that now run 3 shifts, because cyber works in 3 shifts. And having people all over the world focus now on what's going on. And what you guys have built here is that center of it all. We talk about, I love to talk about the Fort Gordon Cyber District and how it includes both sides of the Savannah River. It goes out and includes a lot of communities radiating out around Fort Gordon. But there's a center to it now that didn't exist a few years ago. And we are standing right in the center of the Fort Gordon Cyber District. We are standing in the center of growth. We can, as one of the few cities in America, look back over the past 5 years and see tremendous progress, and look forward for the next 5 or 10 years and see tremendous growth opportunities, not only for the folks that are here already, a lot of the students that are coming through the programs, and whether it's an internship or whether it's through one of the universities or two-year schools, we can see that growth. We can also see companies moving here. I walked the halls last night, just looking at the names on the doors. And I remember, the first trips to DC that your delegations were making, say, hey, defense contractor, don't you want to move to Augusta, Georgia? And like, why? We don't play golf. And it was golf. And I will tell everybody, when I first moved here, 7 or 8 years ago, I gave an interview to the local TV station, and the reporter said, so what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why is Unisys coming here? And I said, well, one day cyber is going to give golf a run for its money in Augusta, Georgia. And she just broke down laughing. She couldn't help herself. She started laughing. We're still friends. She's out of the journalism business now. She's a lawyer, but she remembers that firmly. And I got to tell you, cyber, you guys, you're giving golf a run for its money, and here's to you guys. It's just been a great story.
Well, the next time people will be asking for the GCCA hat, and I think it'll be. But I think one thing that's unique about this center is the accessibility, right? I mean, it is very accessible in terms of, like, if you're serving this community in the region. I think you can come from Charlotte, you can come from Atlanta, and I'm sure this will bring more economic activity here, and overall could be that center, and that could spawn not only just the golf coming here for once, but I think that the turnaround that we need to.
Well, you've moved the clubhouse down here. The clubhouse folks moved in here, and that really opened up a lot of your accessibility, right? Their outreach is tremendous.
Yeah, it has definitely been a community it's taken to make this successful. And you have to give it to the city of Augusta. We talked about the investment of the DOD has made and the state has made, but the city, as you mentioned, Tom, they came to the table as well and made an investment to make sure this was a possibility. And then to your point about the clubhouse, or the CSRA Alliance, who are both nonprofits who are now located in the building. It really does take everybody to create the ecosystem to make this successful. But it is the industry, it is our partners, it is the companies that help us and what helps make this possible and make this successful. We're fortunate here not just to have some of our DoD partners in the building, but now we have the Department of Energy in the building, right? So you bring a national lab to the table to help you through your discussions. Right? It is those partnerships. We're just over 3 years into this, July of 2018, and you think about where we are today.
Right.
And with Army Cyber truly just moving here within the last, less than a year of truly being on the ground. So we're at the very beginning of what you'll see coming out of Augusta, Georgia. But it is exciting to be here in the front end of it.
And once you get to critical mass in these buildings, then magical things can start to happen. There's a reason Army Cyber moved down here. They've got plenty of other places to be. This magic is going to happen here. That's why defense contractors are moving down here. That's why startups are starting up here. Grassroots groups like Clubhouse are helping entrepreneurs that have ideas get funding and grow them. Here, it's all sort of happening. But I don't want to miss the point, because every city has an EDA, and every city has a mayor, and every city has a university president, and every state has a governor. What was magic, I think, about Augusta 4 or 5 years ago were the individuals that held those roles, the individual people that put their own little group aside or made it second to the overall success of the community. And once that happened, and there were just great people here. There are great people here. The former mayor, the current mayor, the former governor that was so important in making this all happen in a timely fashion. But also the locals just up and down Broad Street, in there that said, okay, normally we like to bring in potash companies, but now we're going to bring in cyber companies. So let's pivot and go after that and work together. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful story. And I have one advantage over you, Michael, in that you see this every single day. I have a little time lapse advantage over you. I haven't been here for 2 years. And just to walk up and down Broad pre-dawn and see the shops that have turned over and the kinds of, the coffee shops that are now open in the morning, that was one of the banes of my existence when I first moved here. Is coffee shops didn't open until like 10. It was crazy. But now they're on cyber schedule, so you can always get a cup of coffee in this town. But just watching that and then just walking the halls of these two beautiful buildings here, the dream is really happening. And I just can't compliment you guys enough.
Well, we'll come back to the second iteration of the story with Derek and Tom talking about the foundation.
Yeah, when we talk about good people in the right jobs, you can't have that conversation without Dr. Clark in the front of that. So wait to meet him. He's tremendous. All right, cool. Congratulations, Michael.
Well, thank you. And y'all welcome.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Thanks, Michael. Please feel free to ask any questions about the origin story. I think we'll have quite a few interesting tidbits to go around. The next session that we have is with cyber peace as the theme. This has been I don't know if how many times I've told this story, but it was really Michael Rogers, our other good friend Robert Rodriguez, and us around a table talking about cyber peace versus cyber war, and who can play what part. And he was like, if you want to do one thing, make sure you focus on cyber peace, because without that, we are going to be in a pretty bad state. And while we were putting this together, initially we started as Cyber Peace Alliance, and that didn't go so far. So we had to rebrand CFF. But the two that have taken off, I would say offshoot, and those that are part of the whole cyber peace ecosystem has actually taken on a life of its own. And it has become a mainstream effect. With cyber peace as a goal, and even our industry friends have started writing books about cyber peace and war. And as recently we had one of our friends unveil a book. So in this particular context, we have two really important partners that we work with. One is Cyber Peace Institute out of Geneva. It says it feels like forever, but they have been around probably for 3 years now, and work very closely with Francesca Bosco, her team, and Clara Jordan, who's going to join us today virtually. And then another really entrepreneurial cyber initiative on the peace side is Cyber Peace Foundation out of India. Vinit Kumar, at a very experienced age of 27, I believe, he started Cyber Peace Foundation. He got out of there the Indian Cyber Command and also the law enforcement side, and said he's going to mobilize youth and put together the Cyber Peace Corp. And those are the two institutions that we have been really supporting globally, worldwide. I've traveled with these teams around the world several times, and I think there is a real future for us considering cyber peace more than cyber war, which we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. There is still it's a little bit blurry when it comes to like what it means to be at war, but kid you not, we're fighting a battle every day, and that's part of a big war that we do. But without the consideration for cyber peace, it's not going to be great. So with that, let's check in with the Cyber Peace Forum, and let's get them online. Give us a quick minute to